Great good morning, everyone. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 9:09 and change here in the great Northeast this beautiful Tuesday, March 10, year of our Lord 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America. I can prove it because we are kicking ass everywhere. It's also the place where the brave, like veterans we lost this year, but pay tribute today thanks to John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care personal care community, because they have made us and kept us free. Like Walter Bartfield, Wilkes-Barre, Arthur Blake, Wapwallopin, and Harry Denon, Danville. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible, amazing, irreplaceable founding fathers, that government is not, shall not be, cannot be our parent, our guide, our salvation, our direction. Not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right. That means they can't take it away from you. Granted to each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups, and it couldn't be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution says it is ours, not anyone else's. It ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press. Yeah, that gives them the right to lie, but that shouldn't bother us because we know better. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because they had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny from all over the world created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so we gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense with our very own, it's not a sound effect, it's a gavel and a sound block provided by the Slabjacker. But I tell you, our commitment to common sense is such that we will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you for the balance of this morning. I promise you, we're going to do it. And we do it pretty much every day. I'm not aware of any day we failed, but that sanctuary has got to be available for you because these people are insane. I just want you to know that. I was listening to my friend Jason this morning, and I was listening to the press conference he was referencing with Pete Hegseth and General Raisin Kane. And I guess Pete, I didn't hear this part, but he had quoted scripture. Politically, I don't think it's the smartest thing to do. But it's interesting, the perspective of a lefty. Because Jason, I sort of felt it excluded him or didn't include him. And my thought immediately was, well, wait a minute. If you're going to be inclusive, then it includes people who do cite the Bible. Like, they forget that. They totally miss it. And I love the guy. I love Jason. Great guy. Just helped me fix my power cord on my iPad. But how is it inclusive, or how is it inclusive if it doesn't include the scripture. But it's not inclusive if you include people who believe in the scriptures. They don't even get the perspective. That's what I always tell you, lack of self-awareness and a separation from truth, fact, and reality. That's what builds and is the left. And I'm not saying Jason's left. He's better when Nancy's not here. But yeah, it's they don't even get that. Well, wait a minute. In other words, if you exclude your faith, at least in this instance, and it's in every instance, by the way, if you exclude your faith, then I'm included. But if you include your faith, then I'm excluded. But doesn't inclusive mean everybody? So someone with faith or without faith, someone expressing their faith and someone not would all be included. It's a basic misunderstanding of what the word even means. Well, look at these Hollywood jackasses. I heard it. There's a mini saga going on. The Iranian, what is it? The soccer team, women's soccer team. Now these are among the most repressed people on the planet, and they're in Australia. And I guess they didn't sing or stand for whatever their anthem, the Iranian national anthem, which is now exclusive. Because you can't, if you're not religious, you're excluded. Now, there is true exclusion, and which they don't get. But where is Jane Fonda? Where are the other jackasses? Why aren't they wearing ribbons for the Iranian soccer team who didn't do their national anthem, and now either their families are going to get killed or tortured or whatever if they don't go back to Iran, or they're going to get killed and tortured if they go back to Iran? Where's the concern? Where's the, oh, we're all women, we're all in this together? Where is that? Where are the ladies on The View? Shouldn't they all be protesting? Shouldn't they all be screaming about this? They're all a bunch of phonies. Phony hypocrites. Period. It's really sad. What do I tell you if you're going to be a leftist? You have to be a liar, because you have to live in lies. You have to base your opinion on lies. You have to be a hypocrite, and you have to be willfully ignorant of truth, fact, and reality. So, no, they're not going to protest for the Iranian soccer team, the women, and the families at home and at risk in Iran. No, never thought so. Somebody says, wow, Bob, I never thought of it that way. Excellent point. Yeah, how do I exclude you by including something? I'm including the scriptures. Pete Hegseth includes the scriptures in his little message today. And somehow that excludes somebody by including something. But it's okay if you exclude Pete's scripture. Then everybody says it's inclusive. What in God's name's a man? This is how goofy these people are. Did you ever have the little prism experiments? They'd bring the prism in grade school. And I tell people this when they're having a tough time. And you move that prism just a little bit in the sunlight, and the colors it displays and where it displays them is completely different. So I tell people, if you're having a tough time, just move that prism a little bit. get a slightly different perspective. But when your perspective is asinine, the rest of your opinions will be. Just the way it is. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to come back. And now the Bulldog wasn't here yesterday. I'm going to ask him about the Celtic Woman deal. He was at Celtic Woman Sunday night. Apparently, so much hoopla and partying and whatever the hell else he did, he couldn't come in yesterday. So we'll query him on that. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. trying to concentrate on the song, and I'm watching that stoop-shouldered goofball Chuck Schumer on my screen here in the studios. Ugh. Absolutely disgusting. Revolting. Well, that's Shelley Fabre. Murph says this date, 1962, she was moving up the charts with her hit, and isn't that the cutest thing in the world? Johnny Angel. I'll bet everybody wanted to be Johnny Angel, huh? And of course, 1876. And I think of this often, and it's why we have to have various talents, and why we have to have men and women who invent things, who are inquisitive, who are technical, all of that. I'm hearing the invention of the phone now. I have no clue how that works. It is so far beyond my comprehension. Thank God for Edison and Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Watson and everybody else, Tesla. Nothing. I'd come to the table every week. Well, what'd you invent this week, Bob? Nothing. I got nothing. What'd you invent this week? Well, I found out that so-and-so looks like so-and-so. I thought that was interesting. I got just no value to the table. Amazing. Did you guys understand, and admit it now, did you understand, like, where did you come up with the concept of some piece of paper and acid and a wire and somebody's voice is going to be transmitted? It's insane. All right, quickly, as the Bulldog has his earphones on, when he has his earphones, Bulldog, do you don't have sleep apnea, do you?
Yes.
Because I think you'd look really cute with the pilot's outfit on. You wear the pilot outfit every night?
Just a mask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's a separate issue. So you go to see Celtic Woman. Nobody has a clue. They're well, is it they or one? Because it's woman, A-N.
No, there's four performers.
So why do they call it Celtic Woman?
Because it was on their website. It's supposed to be the, I don't know, but it's supposed to be the Celtic woman, like the.
Yeah, okay,
like
the ideal of a Celtic woman. Yeah, okay, I get it. All right, so they go high end there, of course. Number two, let's talk about. So you go to this concert.
Yes.
Do you meet these people or no? Frank didn't get you. He didn't hook you up to meet these people.
Well, actually,
so you're just another face in the crowd.
No, yes, I did after the performance, outside by the stage door, by the door.
Well,
outside.
like any other fan idiot, though, right? Right?
Well, there's myself.
Like nothing special. The station didn't set you up with anything special, basically.
No.
Right. So you're standing by the stage door like, whatever.
Me and a couple of other people.
yeah, okay.
Which were the big fans, like the average fan maybe doesn't do it. We're the bigger.
Yeah, the average fan goes home. All right, so you're by the stage door,
yes.
And what? These women come out.
Yes,
and you know who they all are. Like someone like my kids used to know the. What were the Ninja Turtles? So you know them all. You know them all by name. What do you do?
Well, we stop. We'd say great performance. If there's like a song that we really like, that hit us.
Well, when you say we, are you like Deion Sanders? You say you refer to yourself as we?
No, myself. But I mean,
okay,
the other people were.
Well, you can't speak for them. They were strangers, weren't they?
No, I know some of them.
Oh, so like repeat groupies. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we'll go with the we.
Yeah.
And did they acknowledge you personally?
Yes, they'll say,
Who?
thank
Which
you
one?
for well, Maraid, like she'll
I don't
say,
know who that is, but okay.
she's one
One
of
of
the
them.
singers. She'll say, thank you, and
She'll say or she said?
she said thank you.
Okay.
Or any other time she says thank you, and we appreciate you being there.
And does she recognize the bulldog? You're very distinctive looking. You look like a bulldog. Did she recognize you at this
they
point?
recognize the people who've been there because they let us hang around.
So she feels safe, not as though there's a stalker there.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And so you had a little interaction. Did you shake hands?
Yes.
She doesn't hug you or anything, though. You're not on that level.
I did get a hug from how many? How many? I got a hug from 3 of them.
Do you tell them, "Hey, I'm the bulldog"?
No.
Why don't you do that next time so you'll stand out? I'm the bulldog. Try it. I'm not kidding. I think it'll work.
I don't know.
All right, so you get a hug from how many? You don't even remember.
3 out of the 4.
3 out of the 4.
Yeah.
Was the 4 angry at you for some reason?
No, she
Or
just maybe
frightened?
wasn't the hugging type.
All right,
'Cause
so
some
3 of them
people
hug
are-
you, give you a quick hug.
Yeah.
No kissing.
No.
All right, but a quick hug.
Yeah.
You say great show. What else do you say?
Great show. And like Maraid, every year that I've seen her, I've gotten a picture taken. So I said, "Hey, I got to get a picture taken with you this year." And she said, "I said if you have time for a quick picture, I give my camera, the phone to
Selfie? Oh, you gave it to another one of the groupies.
Yes, he takes the picture, and the other performers, who was new, I said I got to get one with her, and I said I need proof that I was there, otherwise they won't believe me here.
Yeah. Well, you haven't shown it to me yet, so there is no proof. Did you plan or rehearse what you were going to say so that you wouldn't stumble?
No, I don't plan it. I just.
You're a spontaneous
Yes.
groupie.
Yes.
All right. And you didn't feel it entered into the realm of stalking?
No.
Okay, good. I'm very happy for you then.
No.
I'm telling you, just my tip, next time you tell them, they call me the bulldog. And I think they'll get it real quick. And then they'll remember you when you're, outside their stage door.
That is true, because
No.
I haven't been to Ireland to see them, or flown across country to see them.
Okay. So they know you're a Northeast PA group.
Yeah, they know.
All right, man. You were pleased with the concert and the whole event,
Yes.
except for the fact that Frank Doherty, our sales manager, didn't give you anything special. You were just another person.
Yes, just regular tickets.
All right. Well, we'll work on that.
Well, at least he got me there.
Well, we'll work on that next time. All right. We've got to take a break. I think we've explored that issue. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Let's hear from our great sponsors. We'll come back. We'll do our Veterans Tribute, the weather, and then you at 570-883-0098. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, dutifully, loyally, patriotically, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. Today we feature one of his great companies, Serenity Care, an amazing personal care community that has become the gold standard for senior care in Northeast Pennsylvania. 4 personal care locations: Jessup in the Mid-Valley, Old Forge, Wyoming, and Kingston. Dementia units at the Jessup Mid-Valley and Kingston locations. All 4 of these facilities have been completely renovated inside and out to perfection because John has a passion for providing the highest quality senior care in this area, and he's done it. Check out Serenity Care for yourself, for a member of your family. You'll be pleased. Walter Barteld. He was 91. We lost him March 4th. He was from Wilkes-Barre. Born in that great city, a graduate of Coughlin High School. He enlisted in the Navy and honorably served this nation and all of us for 20 years. After his discharge, he was employed at the Tomiana Army Depot and later for the Pennsylvania State Harness Racing Commission at Pocono Downs. Member of the East End Primitive Methodist Church, where he served on the trustee board. Member of the Landmark Lodge, Free and Accepted Masons. He was an Iron Temple Shriner, part of its Legion of Honor. A life member of the Plains American Legion and past district commander of the American Legion. In addition to his parents, he was preceded in death by his first wife, the former Thelma Stevens. Surviving his current wife, Margaret Barteld, his daughter, his granddaughter and her husband, grandson and his wife, and great-grandchildren, Madeline and Mia Santarelli. Walter Barteld. Our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Serenity Care Personal Care Community. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordenero. All of it brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resorts. This is the most beautiful skiing days you will ever experience. And it's $49 during the week. Oh, by the way, another special. You could buy next year's season pass for $399. That's insane. But they are. They're insane in a good way. Montage Mountain Resorts. Today, sunny and warm. 74 is the projection. Record high for this date, 68. So we're going to blow right through that. It's 51 degrees outside the studios right now. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 52. Wednesday, partly cloudy, chance of... Excuse me, that's not a cough necessarily. It could be my chunky peanut butter. Wednesday, partly cloudy with a chance of afternoon showers, 72. Thursday, turning colder with morning showers and a chance of snowflakes in the afternoon. Drop them back down to 46. So this is the last of the beautiful days. But they're all amazing skiing days at Montage Mountain Resorts. Get up there and have fun. I'm telling you. What great music. Paul Simon, Art Garfunkel. Murph tells us this date, 1964, recorded their acoustic original version of The Sound of Silence at Columbia Records Studios, New York City. The record company later added electric guitars, bass, and drums before releasing it as a single without letting either performer know. But man, it made the song. I love how they start out and then the drumming and all that comes in. By the way, Bulldog, so we know what we're going to finish with today. What is it, Larry from Plymouth's Disturbed? Their version of the same song? Right? No, it's not on the list. Can you adapt to that? Disturbed, right? We love that version too. Yeah, I looked through the songs. I mean, this is just as good. That's as good to finish with as anything. Somebody texted in, Bob, maybe the light at the end of the tunnel concerning the Biden stolen valor banner. I was told the banners cost $250. If it's a matter of money and businessmen and the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association wants a $250 refund for the general fund for the cost of the banner, I know a lot of current and retired business people and women that would make the donation for the removal of the stolen valor Biden banner. Please tear it down, particularly in time of war. They should pay for their mistake, but I've got no problem if somebody gives $250 to them. But it's got to come down. And the fact that it's now down again doesn't say much for their character. If you make a mistake and you make a public mistake, what do? Stick it in everybody's eye for, what are we on, day 84? You stick it in everybody's eye for 84 days and pretend you didn't do anything wrong? Or do you show character, take the banner down, reconnoiter, and say, hey, next meeting, let's talk about maybe putting a different kind of banner up for Joe Biden. And then hopefully that gets voted down because he's an embarrassing disgrace, not only to Green Ridge, but to this whole area. And was the worst president we ever had. How about we work it that way? But no, I don't think they deserve $250, but hey, they deserve to be excoriated and hopefully recognize their mistake instead of, this is not about bowing to pressure. This is about being wrong and correcting it. Everybody's wrong now and then. Now correct it. You've been told you're wrong. You know you're wrong. Even if you're an idiot, you know you're wrong. Barry from Plains says maybe if Trump came out in favor of the Iran's women's team, the beasts on The View would support them. Yeah, they'd do the exact opposite. Yeah, he'd have to come out against them. Bulldog, do you have the James Carville rant? You can't find it. Please find it. James Carville, we'll play it. He's a jackass. He always has been. The only thing that made him was Bob Casey Sr. Despite Carville's best efforts, Casey beat Bill Scranton for governor in 1986. Was it 85 and they took office 86? It doesn't matter. Like, please. He's a goof. He's a funny goof. But now he's fighting for relevance, and he's day drinking. Yeah, I saw the rant. And it's actually frightening. People like him And people like De Niro, and you could name them, they're actually scary. Fred Duckman telling a joke, which doesn't make it's not airworthy, but Fred, we love you. Somebody said, Bob, I always say if I would go back in time and had to explain how anything worked like the phone or the internet, I wouldn't have a clue. Yes. Now, Grace from Wyoming says, Bob, stop torturing the bulldog. When I was inquiring, and by the way, he loves it, so you know. When I was inquiring about his groupie status with the Celtic Women. They're women, but the band is Celtic Woman. Somebody when listening to it said this is getting uncomfortable. Another, Bob, it sounds like Celtic Woman will probably be getting a PFA on the bulldog. If he tells them he's a bulldog, they'll call the dog catcher. Another perfect illustration of how mentally ill some people are is a profanity-laced rant over the weekend by James Carneville. It's astonishing, but so true. Unreal. He's asking the good Lord for more Trump derangement syndrome. Well, Bacardo Jewelers watches tell me it's $9.50. Murph says the Beach Boys recorded their hit God Only Knows at Western Recorders Studios in Hollywood, California. This date, 1966. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Bulldog, you got that Carville thing ready? How long is it? How long is it? Is that long? Oh, God. All right, I may cut it off, but start it. Well, you're already there, dummy. All right, enough. Yeah, you guys get the point about James. He's just a stone cold idiot, an amusing one, a guy you'd love to drink with, because he would go on rants like that. But as far as a serious commentator in any way, shape, or form, and it's funny. He'll say something about the Democrat Party that's true, like, hey, you're too left-wing. And nobody wants to hear you. And then they'll play him on Fox. And I'm like, no. This idiot will be off the rails the next time he opens his stupid mouth. Crazy stuff. I'm just... Now, here we go to finish on a good note. Good news, Bob. Got my Lackawanna County tax bill. My taxes went down by $500. I have the nicest house on my block on the hill, which, by the way, I walk the hill. I live in the hill, and I walk the hill with Chauncey. And that's saying a lot if you have the nicest house on your block in the hill. Anyway, continues. Will reduce my mortgage by $45 a month. Winning. Good for you. It's a good way to end the hour. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Time for the news with Brian Hughes, because my Picardo Jewelers watch says it's 10:01. We'll be back. This is how to eulogize a person who just passed. Yeah. My God. Well, it has so much to do with Jesse Jackson. And a rogues gallery of absolute fools. Yeah, the battle is, war goes on with these fools. Great good morning, everyone. 10:12 on the nose on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Tuesday, March 10, year of our Lord, 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great Serenity Care, personal care community, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we lost this year, but salute today, thanks to John, like Walter Barteld, Wilkes-Barre, Arthur Blake, Wapwallopin, Harry Denon, Danville. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment, this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our ironclad commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you for the balance of this morning. Yeah. These fools. Mark Mayer pointing out Kamala with her fake accent. Barack Obama was coming up with one too. Reminiscent of that hag who we played in the first hour, Hillary Clinton. I ain't no kind of tired. What? These are people. And Obama, sadly, I thought he was at a certain level. He continues to descend into a pit of left-wing idiocy and hell. He's a disgrace. He truly is and has become a disgrace. And here's the man who he lies every time he speaks. And who exploited his position to now be worth, he and Michelle, $100 and some million. Living the life of luxury. He's going to destroy the American economy and our working class and our middle class in the name of climate change, but he's going to build, or he's going to buy on the ocean because he knows it's a lie and it's a scam. Unbelievable, these people. And it's what it is. Hey, one more sour note before I get to Mother Teresa. Murph reminded me. Bruce Springsteen's banned from the program, Bruce Springsteen music, because he's just too disgusting. He's too stupid. And we just can't do it. His music, as much as I've loved it in the past, it's not good enough or important enough to mark our as a historical marker, which is what we use our music for in this program. It's not good enough, it's not important enough, and it's being delivered by a complete jackass who we just can't fathom. Now, he's for the working man. What do we say? Hypocrite, liar, and separated sometimes irreparably from fact, truth, and reality. So when he gets up and lies at his concerts, he's all about the working man. Do you know what a ticket for his next event, his next tour is going to be? $1,000 minimum for the nosebleed seats. $7,000 for the floor. And about a $3,000 average. There's your working man. These people are disgusting human beings. They truly are. And why they're disgusting, few people are inherently disgusting, inherently reprehensible, but because they have zero self-awareness, he doesn't get that he's claiming to fight for the oppressed while oppressing them with $3,000 concert tickets. He doesn't get it. Zero self-awareness. Zero. By the way, somebody texts in, Bob is a veteran. How about all the veterans that listen make a $10 donation to get it down, meaning the Biden banner, and whatever is left over gets donated to Wounded Warriors. I don't think, first of all, you're a veteran. I'm not. You have given us, all of you, more than we could ever repay. And now we're going to ask you to pay for people who are fools to admit they were wrong when they know they are. I don't think we could ask any more of you. I just don't. Let's just get, maybe we'll just get together and give money to the Wounded Warriors. Somebody in the same vein. Bob, maybe they'll put a banner up for Hillary since she stayed in Scranton as a child. I can't remember when, but oh well. LDS. Unbelievable. No, so veterans, I would just tell you, you just express your outrage to members of the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association. That you're offended, that they're wrong, and to please do the right thing now that they've made a ridiculous mistake. We can't ask anything more from you. Anyway, Mother Teresa, let me get to her before the break here. And I've got some calls to get to, some of our usuals. If you are discouraged, she says, for March 10th, it is a sign of pride because it shows you trust in your own power, your self-sufficiency, your selfishness, and your intellectual pride will inhibit his coming to live in your heart because God cannot fill what is already full. It is as simple as that. Amazing, deep, as always, poignant. St. Teresa, Mother Teresa, for March 10th. We'll take a break. Let's hear from our great sponsors. Little history, little music, and then we'll get to the phones. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. Murph tells us this date, 1973. They had their second top 10 charts hit at number 7 with that song, Cover the Rolling Stones. Fun, huh? It was fun. And 1965. I did not know that Walter Matthau and Art Carney were, Art Carney, replaced by Jack Lemmon in the movie. Art Carney was Felix in Neil Simon's play. It opened on Broadway, New York City, 1965. How about that? Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. And let's see. Let's go. Donald's been beyond patient with us. Donald, how are you?
Oh, thank you. I wanted to talk about this. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're just playing your theme song. Don't you worry about it.
Go ahead.
Forge ahead.
A minute. So let me just talk like 2 minutes, and then a minute and a half. Then you can jump in. We'll get it over with. I have all these notes here for you.
You got it.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is what happened. You're right about this Carville. He lost his mind, his professionalism. He had saliva. It was the most enduring thing I ever saw in my life. Horrendous. What happened to this man? I know this man from Casey. I knew Governor Casey and John Hines. What he did, he got Governor Casey reelected. He was in his campaign.
Then he didn't get him elected. Casey got himself elected. Carville almost blew it. But that's another story. Yeah.
He came in with Harris Wofford with health care for Hines seat against Thornburg, and he won by 10 points. Then after that, Clinton picked him up with the other health care. So what happened there? But as far as Carville should have went down to South Carolina February 29th, 2020, and told Jim Clyburn, you can't pick this man. He had first stage dementia, Joe Biden, but he didn't do that. Now he's complaining. Trump made our lives green. He created all this junk with these open borders, drug dealers, rapists, murderers, his party, the transgender operation on kids, the men and women's sports, the weak foreign policy. All this stuff is because of Joe Biden, and Trump's redoing it right now. You know that.
Yep. Trump's got to undo so much crud from the Democrat Party. And it wasn't just Joe Biden, because he was a figurehead, as disgusting and corrupt as he is. It was the entire leadership of the Democrat Party that's gone insane. And the only voice of reason is John Fetterman right now.
Right. He don't understand Carville. He's their God righteousness. What values?
Well, he's mocking. That's where I cut it off. He's mocking God. He's mocking God in his little
these
joke.
Puberty blockers and these transgender operations and these fake independent medical examinations on kids behind closed doors with these Frankenstein doctors. You're the one that wants to put poison in a kid's arm. 216 jabs instead of 76. They want to go higher, like Kennedy said. One jab every month. What are you out of your mind? You don't know the poisons you're doing to these kids and everything. They don't have any values. What are their values? Taking a prisoner and giving him a sex operation so he can rape more women in the other prison because he's getting beat up by the men in the men's prison? So this is ridiculous. They have no values. I want to know what their values are. Can you tell me?
They're
I can
sick
see it was
and
nutrition,
twisted.
Maybe.
Their agenda is sick and twisted. They are wrong
nobody
about
wants their
everything.
Values. Donald, what's their value? What values?
Thank you, my man, because we got to go.
Right,
Appreciate it, and thank you for your patience. Let's go to Luciano in Luzerne County to wrap up the half hour.
Thank you, Bob, for taking my call. Let me just tell you this quickly.
Bulldog forgot your theme song, by the way.
It's okay. It doesn't bother me. As a matter of fact, I really don't care for it, but it's beautiful because I like the what it stands for. But let me say this. There's things I don't tell you that actually happened to me. Yes, I lived in the streets. I lived homeless on the streets in California, New York, Boston, and in Sacramento. And I don't tell you that I served in the military. I'll just bring it up. The VA, the only thing I got good out of California.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing good I got out of California was going to the VA hospital, and VA put me through culinary school. And I was at the VA. They were programmed there for veterans, and we lived there, we slept there, we went to culinary school, and they paid for it. I don't like to bring it up, but I finally had to bring it up. And let me just tell you, filthy New York City. I lived in New York City. I lived in, not New York City, I lived in Rochester and in Buffalo. Forgive me for talking loud because I get extremely upset about this topic of
well,
illegal, illegal.
The Babylon Bee, if you're familiar with it, it points out Mamdani condemns New Yorkers for making Muslims throw bombs at them.
Listen, the media does not tell you, Bob. There's so many homeless people, homeless veterans in the streets, homeless mentally ill, homeless intelligent people. And here, New York City, like I told the Bulldog, New York City, I keep an eye on New York City, and just like I keep an eye on Texas because my family lives in Arlington. New York City is bankrupt because of mass illegal invasion. They have about 190 plus thousand illegals living in New York City.
Minimum.
California is a sanctuary city. New York State is my filthy birthplace, Philadelphia and Boston. Those are the only way we're going to recover from this insanity that the Biden administration has caused. I get such a freaking ticked off because I lived in the streets with veterans. I lived in the streets with American citizens. And we have 7 or 8 states that are sanctuary cities. I pray to the good Lord that the 15th Amendment this year, the Supreme Court goes in favor of overturning this 15th Amendment, was meant for black citizens, that came to this country, that were forced to come to this country. It was not meant for migrants that voluntarily came to this country. And second, eliminate, let me say it again, eliminate sanctuary cities, federal funds they will go bankrupt. California is bankrupt. New York State is bankrupt at this present time. They're absolutely bankrupt. Forgive me for talking so harshly because I get sick and tired of white people defending migrants in this country while we have veterans and American citizens and women. I've met women living in their vans that are homeless, seniors. And God bless Donald Trump. If you listen to people out there, if you don't like what I say, go fly a kite in a thunderstorm. Have a good week, brother.
Oh, Luciano.
Thank you.
He ended on a rough note, but that's okay. He's Luciano from Luzerne County. And there's his theme song. Bulldog caught up after the fact. Let's hear from our great sponsors. Let us do that. We'll come back with the Veterans Tribute. We'll do the weather, and then we're going to play a little video ditty, and then we'll hear from you at 570-883-0098. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by Super Patriot John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care personal care community. 4 locations in the Mid-Valley, in the borough of Jessup, Old Forge, Wyoming, Kingston. Dementia care units located at the Jessup and Kingston locations. All 4 facilities completely renovated inside and out. They are and have become the gold standard for senior care. Why? Because John Basiliga has a passion for providing the highest quality senior care in the area and beautiful personal care homes for our seniors to live in. That is Serenity Care's mission. Arthur Blake. He was 80 when we lost him March 4th. He was from Wapwallopin. Born in Kingston, educated in Fairview schools. Part of the first graduating class of Crestwood High School. Prior to graduation, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy as a reservist. Upon graduation from Crestwood, he transferred to active duty, serving until 1966, after which he returned to reserve duty until 1980. He continued his education at King's College. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree. He was a machinist by trade, working in the tool and die industry. Member of the National Ski Patrol. He was a CPR instructor as well. He was part of the rescue team at Eagle Rock, where they knew him as Paul, and Montage Mountain, where they called him Artie. He was a member of the St. James Lutheran Church Hobby, where he was a former Bible study teacher, volunteer EMT, and firefighter for both the Hobby and Slocum Fire and Ambulance companies. Assistant Boy Scout leader. He got involved. He'll be greatly missed by his loving wife, Ruth Blake, with whom he would have celebrated their 58th wedding anniversary this March 23rd. He's also survived by cherished grandchildren and great-grandchildren. In addition to his parents, tragically, he was preceded in death by his sons, Keith Blake in 2002 and Daniel Blake in 2003. Arthur Blake, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Serenity Care Personal Care Community. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordonaro. And when you think weather, think Montage Mountain Resorts, because they're bringing you the weather. And it is spectacular today. Sunny and warm, 74 degrees. Record high for the date, 68. It's 56 outside the studios as I speak. Tonight, partly cloudy down to 52. Wednesday, partly cloudy with a chance of afternoon showers, 72. Thursday, turning colder with morning showers and a chance of snowflakes in the afternoon, 46 degrees. So back to reality, I guess. But enjoy today and tomorrow. They're going to be incredible. And all of that brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain. This is the best spring skiing conditions you will ever have. Get up there this week. And if you haven't skied there before, they've got a $49 special. $49 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you could buy your season pass for next year for only $399. Save yourself a ton of money. Montage Mountain Resorts. Babylon B says, Pope condemns Allied forces in World War II for not just talking it out with the Nazis. Yeah, that's about where our Pope is. Strait of Hormuz is a critical choke point in world trade, and Trump's got to solve it. This date, 1979, Dire Straits had their first top 10 charts hit at number 10, Sultans of Swing, the class of 1979 Dunmore High School prom theme. Bob Cordaro back on WILK and the program. Somebody texted in, Bob, it's amazing the Jesse Jackson celebration of his life. The Democrat Party former leaders praising their so-called values, but they cannot define their foreign policy, their true party agenda values, which are wide open borders, men and women's sports, transgender mutilation of innocent children, fake green energy agenda, foreign policy which tells terrorists don't. The Democrat Party, a party of true misfits. And I'm going to add parenthetically, amazingly, except for PA Senator John Fetterman. Hey, Pastor Mitch checking in. He says, ALTS, bro, God bless you, Sir Bob. Well, he has. Thank you. Oh, these are crazy people. Absolute crazy people. Absolutely disgraceful. Cabinet guy, TDS is so real. Many have their Facebook pages devoted to bashing Trump. Totally sick people. What will they do when Trump is out of office? Get a life already. I'm with you, Cabinet guy. They've really got to get a grip on themselves. It's a serious problem. Somebody says, Bob, I love Bruce's music, but watch his movie and it will sum up what he's all about. He's a disgusting human. I won't watch his movie, but I'll take your word for it. He's a stupid man. I mean, look, I wasn't listening to him because he was running the Mensa meetings. But I'm not listening to him anymore because you can only take so much stupidity. You really can. And when someone tells you they're stupid and then continues to prove it, you don't want to get dumber listening to them. You will eventually be affected. Bill O'Reilly writes, immediate gratification. America is embracing the concept enthusiastically. We want what we want now. That's the driver behind substance abuse. Alter your consciousness quickly. Obesity as well. I want the soda and the snack right away. Foolish spending, reckless driving, lack of decorum, all instant gratification stalwarts. And then there's the conflict. We want it resolved immediately. You see that with the press and Iran. Yeah, you do. Like, can we take a breath on anything? Apparently not. Sue the Cat writes in, talking about the prism. Right, Sue? Bob LTS, great show as usual. Well, you couldn't pay me to go to a Springsteen concert. Anyone who goes against the United States, no matter who president is a traitor. Maybe these fans of his should look at how wealthy he is. He's no do-gooder. No, he's not. We've got somebody reminded us to play the song. Bulldog found it. It's the anti-boss song, and we will play it. But we've got to take a break now because as we approach 10:50, I always checking my Picardo Jewelers watch, checking the Picardo Jewelers watch, checking the Picardo Jewelers watch. It's always accurate, and it tells me we've got to take a break. We'll be back. I was always a sucker for girls with raspy voices. Kim Carnes. Murph says this date, 1981, she released her hit Betty Davis Eyes. Bob Cordaro, back with you. I've been noticing this book. It's called Killed to Order. Now, if you don't think that countries like Iran and North Korea and China, even beyond Russia, by the way, Russia doesn't have an evil system anymore. They've got an evil leader. There's a difference. There's a difference in result. There's a difference in degree. China is an evil system. Iran is an evil theocracy and a system. North Korea, same. I won't get into all of them, but Cuba. Although Trump says that's going to go by the way of the dodo. Gosh, I hope so. But there's a book by Jan Jekielek, I think I'm saying it right. Killed to Order. China's organ harvesting industry and the true nature of America's biggest adversary. And I bring this up, even though for those of you who actually think about these things, many of you don't. And that's not an indictment. You just don't. But then don't question policy when you don't want to think about things. Everybody says, well, everybody's got a right to an opinion. No, they don't. If you don't think about things, you don't have a right to an opinion. Oh, you got a right to your feelings because apparently you can't control them, but that's a totally separate thing. That's the problem with our left, with Hollywood, all those clowns running around with ribbons that are just fashion accessories. And you don't see any of these fools protesting against China. It goes beyond the Uyghurs. This is a book that discloses China's organ harvesting industry. Now, if you didn't value human life, well, this is a natural extension. Yet these are the nations that the left favors over Donald Trump and common sense and rationality. This is an evil empire. And they need to be opposed. So when Trump takes over Venezuela and Iran, because they are the two primary servers of the Chinese economy, he's doing what is necessary, in addition, by the way, to eliminating evil at its source. So if you don't understand what China is or what Venezuela was and is now moving away from, thank God, then please just stop talking. Just do everybody a favor and stop talking. You don't know what you're talking about. Again, I'm past the point where, oh, well, they have a point of view. Absolutely crazy. Somebody texts in, Bob, I'm a loyal listener, a well-known philanthropist. If the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association wants $250, I will guarantee their funds. We can put the money in escrow or leave a bank cashier's or corporate check at your studio and the company safe, but the banner must come down. Hang what they want, not a problem, just not a Hometown Heroes banner. Amen. I just don't think they should get paid for being wrong and being liars and then sticking to it for 84 days. But that's a generous offer. So the offer's out there, Green Ridge Neighborhood Association. If you're worried about your coffers any number of people will step up and replace the $250. Why you need $250 to not be stupid, that's another story. Your childish pride, unwillingness to admit you're wrong even when you know you are. Is that where we're headed here? This is an organization supposed to preserve and enhance a neighborhood, and your children? Somebody says, so it's okay to ignore what Israel did to Gaza because someone isn't outraged about China's killing people. Well, you're a liar. You're stupid. That's not what happened, and that means you're stupid. Seriously, how could you be so stupid? You're going to equate Gaza, which was a response to the slaughter of 1,200 Israelis, and by the way, a number of Americans, by scum, by evil scum Hamas, who were led by Iran and funded by Iran. You're going to equate that to Red China. Wow, you're stupid. Sorry. We'll take a break and be back. Great good morning, everyone. Cordaro Jewelers watch. Well, I'm looking at it. It says it's 11:10 and change. This beautiful Tuesday, March 10th, year of our Lord 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great Serenity Care personal care community, the gold standard in senior care here in Northeast PA, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John, like Arthur Blake of Wapwallopin, Walter Barteld of Wilkes-Barre, and Thomas Denon of Danville. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle, gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you in a world that's gone insane. We just had the person texting in comparing Gaza to China, Iran's incursion into Gaza. All right, I'm going to go through a very partial list. I called you stupid. And if you don't realize that your opinion is stupid after this, then I cannot help you. And I am actually trying to help you. On October 7th, 2023, Hamas, funded by Iran, radical, insane Islamists, did an incursion on the border of Israel, slaughtered 1,200 people, burning them, slaughtering children, torturing, raping, and then they kidnapped another several hundred. Among the murdered were Americans. Among the kidnapped were Americans. Many of the people kidnapped never made it home. They're dead. They were killed. Now, they knew Israel's response, what it was going to be. And they put their facilities and their leadership and their command and control underneath hospitals and residential neighborhoods so that civilians had to be killed in order to respond, which Israel had to do. Israel conducted, and this is by neutral military experts, the most humane attack on an enemy that had ever been witnessed. I just talked to you about 100,000 residents of Tokyo being killed by incendiary bombs, meaning they're intended to burn and cause fires in World War II, because we knew how to kill an enemy and crush their spirit, at least back then. Well, now, once again, Hamas knew their citizens were going to get killed. They knew that they had them as human shields against the Israeli operation. They wouldn't let them leave when it was leafleted by the Israelis. Hey, there's going to be an attack here. They wouldn't let them leave. They're civilians because they wanted them to be killed. So if you're going to equate the sick Islamist fanaticism and Israel's own defense with China killing millions of its own people. By the way, they've done it a number of times. And now they're organ harvesting. If you're going to equate those two situations, there's something wrong with your reasoning. You've got to either go back to, well, you can't go back to any modern schools, but you've got to go back to the drawing board and stare at yourself in the mirror and say, why do I make these stupid comparisons? because it makes me feel better. It allows me to believe feelings instead of fact, truth, and reality. Just please check yourself. And I could go on for days. Days. Somebody says the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association, I was told, has limited funds in their general fund. They must know the Stolen Valor Biden banner was a mistake, but still refused to sacrifice the $250, which would be proof that they were 100% wrong. In the end, it looks like all about the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association's bottom line. Well, we'll see. The listener says, I'm not supporting anything, just pointing out that killing people isn't okay. But that's stupid. Do you understand that's stupid? It's not logical. It's not sensible to throw Gaza into a comparison with the Chinese. You don't realize how dumb that is? Please tell me you do. I want hope for you. I want hope that you've got reasoning power, that you just don't flail out in response to your feelings with nothing sensible behind it. Thanks for trying, but I'm still stupid, the listener says. Agree to disagree, I guess. Well, no, I don't agree to disagree with you. I'm saying you're stupid. And we're done with going down your rabbit holes today, because there is no comparison with Israel's incursion into Gaza. And by the way, Israel killed less Gazans than Hamas has. In the entire incursion, they killed less Gazans. They are not Palestinians, by the way, or certainly not exclusively Palestinians. They killed less Gazans in this war than Hamas has. Oh, and Hamas stole billions of dollars intended for their welfare. Yeah, that's on top of that. We could go on. But please stop being stupid. It's really not a good look, and it's not helpful to your life. It just isn't. All right, let's go to Bill from Pittston. Hey, Bill, how are you, brother?
Doing good. I was just thinking of a comparison. When Joe Kennedy was the ambassador to Great Britain and Hitler was making his disposition known, he advised President Roosevelt to just let him get what he wants, the appeasement thing, following the Chamberlain route all the way down. Just give him what he wants. He can be reasoned with. We don't need to get our boys killed and blah, blah, blah. And, of course, we know that was a complete disaster.
Yeah.
So what we needed was not another Chamberlain. We needed a Churchill. We've had too many Chamberlains in our current presidencies. And now we have a Churchill that's leading us in the right direction. And even the Pope has taken this position. Well, we shouldn't get too fond of war. We should just sit down and reason with him. That guy's out in la-la.
Yeah, well, that's why I read the Babylon Bee about the Pope. He thinks we should have reasoned. We were wrong not to reason with the Nazis.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, the point being, there was no reasoning with evil. There isn't reasoning with evil. There isn't negotiation with evil. That's why Iran their leadership has to be wiped out. There's not a choice.
That's right. And just think, if Britain had the boldness to stop Hitler early on, even his generals felt, after the incursion into Czechoslovakia, that they could have been stopped. And just think, if they had a Churchill instead of Chamberlain, how the world would have been shaped different. And Trump is just merely looking at history and saying, this is the right decision to make.
By the way, there's actually, the Democrat Party of today is actually worse than Neville Chamberlain, because they know better and they don't care, because their only road to power in their mind, which is all that matters to them, not the American people, not common sense, not reality, not fact, not truth. The only thing that matters to the Schumers and the rest of these clowns is hatred of Donald Trump and opposing him and getting back in power. That's all they care about.
I agree with you 100%.
Neville Chamberlain actually probably had true sentiment for the world and the British people. These people do not.
You're absolutely right, and he didn't want to see another slaughter like World War I. His motivations were well founded, but not really correct.
And you think about it, you're less than what 15 years away. You're about 15 years away from the slaughter of World War I. So pacifist. And by the way, the world hadn't, at least the Western world, had not encountered, since Genghis Khan came into Europe, never encountered that level of evil that Hitler was. So if you misunderstood who he was in the beginning, like there's a lot of rationale. It's just that Churchill was more brilliant and saw people and knew things, and his greatness came out.
You know, another thing with Obama at the Jesse Jackson Jr. Funeral oration and some of the others, I mean, I think, first of all, he's jealous of Trump's success. But the other thing is, I think he's even organizing, he's going to give an organized push, and some of those idiots are going to do it too. Jesse Jackson Jr.'s son said after the funeral, one thing he learned about all these, they didn't know his father.
No,
he
we
even
played
told
it.
them before.
And by the way, the guy who knew his father and was actual friends with his father was Donald Trump.
Yep. But the thing is, what they're doing is he even told them before they went to the funeral, do not bring politics in
we
this.
played that too.
Make it about my father, not about you.
Yep.
And Obama is a lunatic.
He's descended into disgrace, and there's no redemption at this point because he's a greedy pig and he's a liar, and he does both of those things every day. All right, man.
And he was a failed president.
All right, Bill. Thank you. Always a pleasure. We got to take this break. Gary from Mill City's holding. He says he's got a solution to the Green Ridge Biden banner, the Biden banner disgrace. We'll take a break. We'll hear from our great sponsors, a little history, a little music, and then we'll go back at this sickening Biden issue. We'll be back. This date, 1984, Murph says the posthumously released song, that means he had been already killed, by John Lennon moved up to number 6 with his hit, Nobody Told Me, March 10, 1984. Biden banner disgrace, day 85. A banner to Joe Biden as a hometown hero put up by the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association 85 days or so ago. He was not a veteran, is not entitled to the banner, and it debases every man and woman who served this great country in our military. We say take it down. You can make fools of yourselves by honoring Joe Biden any way you want. Just don't count stolen valor of our great veterans in your disgrace. Biden banner disgrace, day 85. Let's go to Gary from Mill City. He might have a solution to the binary. Well, there's only one solution, by the way. Take it down.
The one text said that the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association doesn't have a lot of cash on hand. Being that loser Joe Biden, the destruction he's done to this country, almost 50 years in the federal government, he saw national debt go from, in his years in office, from $1.5 trillion to almost $40 trillion. Failed policy all along the ways. A moocher. If he is so popular in this Green Ridge, Scranton area, why don't we pull that sign down and we'll have a big raffle at the Greenwood Fire Hall, and they should make thousands of dollars on that side. Joe Biden is so popular.
Burn it. We might make more money burning it.
Raffle it up. These people, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's a good option.
Raffle and burn it. We could win the raffle and burn it. But Greenwoods would make money. We get that disgrace down, and we could go on with life.
I'm with you.
The news just now on Joe Biden and the oil prices. Yesterday I was talking to a friend. We own a business, and I said, boy, the people are starting to complain about gas prices. These liberals are off their wall. We were paying almost $5 a gallon for gas for nothing other than a failed energy policy.
Yep.
Green energy, we're gonna transfer wealth to a group of people, and nobody complained. And here we are doing something that is going to help the future of the world, our country, our children, our grandchildren. And it's at $3.49. We're being gouged, and people are complaining. The next person through the door said, "Oh boy, Trump's doing a great job. Gas at $3.49." I told them, I don't even want to hear it. You liberals are paying almost $5 a gallon. You didn't say a word for a failed energy policy.
For a lie. For a lie.
Yeah, a lie. And one other thing here. We are not going to need this SAFE Act if the Republicans don't get off their rear ends and start doing something. They are going to get murdered in the midterms because once again, they are turning off Donald Trump's voters so bad, we would rather have a Democrat in office than somebody like John Thune, John Cornyn. And a question for everybody running in the primaries on the Republican side should be, would you support John Thune as majority leader after the election? That man has to go. He is just an
in a primary. In a primary. In a general, I don't give a spit. In a primary, yeah, no problem.
People are going to stay home, Bob, because they are sick of these people lying
well,
to
these
us.
people better wake up. I'm sorry.
Well,
I've got no sympathy for people who throw up their hands. Zero. Because they then let insane Democrats get elected, and shame on them, and they are 1,000% wrong. Vote and fight like your life depends on it in the primary, but then as things stand today, vote against the Democrat in the general.
These Republican leadership, Bob, are doing this for the reason they want people to stay home. They make more money for themselves, their friends, more campaign money when they're in the minority.
Well, you're assuming that they're smart. I'm not assuming they're smart.
Yeah. They are not smart. They're corrupt. And they want to keep their corruption in place. Donald Trump turned the bandwagon over. And these people don't want it turned over. That's why they hate him. He is actually an honest man, a billionaire, losing money, losing years of his life.
Well, he's doing pretty good, Gary. He's doing pretty good this term.
Well, I think he's doing great.
I'm talking about financially. I think he figured out how not to lose money this term.
Sure.
Gary, good point, but do not vote against Republicans this fall, because how people caucus, who's the head of a committee, all of that matters to the country, even with rhinos in attendance. We got to take our break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back with our Veterans Tribute. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by a friend of the veterans, John Basiliga. Featuring today one of his great companies, the Serenity Care Personal Care Community. John Basiliga has a passion for providing the highest quality senior care in the area, and he's done it with beautiful personal care homes for seniors to live in because he personally oversaw the 4 personal care locations completely renovated inside and out after he acquired them. 4 locations in the mid-valley of Lackawanna County in Jessup, technically Valley View. Old Forge, Wyoming, Kingston. The Jessup and Kingston locations include dementia units. They're the best. They're the gold standard in senior care. He cares. Harry Denon, self-taught expert in railroad paraphernalia. He was 94 from when we lost him, February 26th. He was from Danville. Born in Danville back in 1931. 1949 graduate of Danville High School. Following graduation, Harry enlisted in the United States Army National Guard. At the age of 19, he was deployed to Korea. He served with the headquarters battalion as a switchboard operator and a forward observer on the front lines for 2.5 years. Wow. Honorably discharged in 1954 as a corporal in the Army. Harry held various employment and jobs throughout his life. He worked in his father's dry cleaning business, orderly at Danville State Hospital. He worked at Merck, TRW, as a line polisher, laboratory technician, salesman with Wicks Lumber. He was a painter refisher at Geisinger Medical Center. Lifetime member, though, at St. Joseph Catholic Church, Danville. His interest in trains began early at age 5 when he received his first Mark's wind-up train. The love of railroads enabled him to become a self-taught expert in railroad paraphernalia, particularly railroad lanterns. The Watchman's Shanty at Watchbox Park in Danville is only one example of the 100-piece of history he rescued and restored over many years. Preceded in death by his former wife, Jean Marie Cleese, and his companion, Catherine Kaufman. He's survived by 2 sons, Thomas and his wife, and Robert of Berlin, Germany. 1 daughter and her husband, 9 grandchildren, 20 great-grandchildren, surviving a brother and his wife. Harry Denon, a great legacy and another great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. I'm sorry, Serenity Care. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Anthony Bordenaro, brought to you by our great friends at Montage Mountain Resorts, where this is spring skiing like you read about. Get up there. And by the way, the bar ain't bad either. Today's sunny and warm, high 74. Record high for the date 68. It's 63 outside the studios right now. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 52. Wednesday, partly cloudy. Chance of afternoon showers, 72 degrees. Thursday, turning colder with morning showers and a chance of snowflakes in the afternoon, 46 degrees. It'll go back to where we don't want to be, but that's okay. That's okay. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. Bob, ask a liberal what the price of gas would be if Iran was allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon and use it. But see, they're not thinking. You give me a Democrat voter and a left-wing voter. They're the same right now, unfortunately. And I will show you someone who thinks like a child. There's no sense. Give me someone with TDS. Childlike. There's no other explanation for it. childlike. What does a child do? They ignore anything that disagrees with their little argument, their emotions, their feelings. And anything that facts that assault them, they're offended by. But we started off the program. And it related to Pete Hegseth. And he gave a scripture, a quote of scripture from the Bible in his defense briefing today. And someone said, oh, well, see, I don't feel included in that. So in other words, you've got, remember they're completely upside down. So you've got to exclude the person who would quote the Bible in order to be inclusive? Is that what you're saying? See, they don't know what they're saying. They know what they're feeling. And that's all they know. They preach inclusivity while excluding people who disagree with them. Which, by the way, is a necessary part of their ideology and their feelings. Follow your feelings. See how far that gets you in life. Well, it gets us to a place where the country's literally ruined. Somebody texts in, no one will ever turn me or my friends to the other side. President Trump is the best president America ever had, says Wild Bill. You're not far off. I mean, I go back to a Lincoln or I go back to a George Washington. I go back to Teddy Roosevelt. But other than that, and I mean, Reagan was great. This guy, he's solving problems that people don't even want to see. Remembering that Venezuela and Iran are as much about China as they are about those countries. And China is the source of evil and the strength of evil on this planet. And he's getting it done. Somebody says, would you be kind enough to include John Susko on Veterans Radio Roll Call? I'm not sure what you're talking about, to be honest with you. If you've got a Veterans Tribute, you got to email information, an obituary or something, and I'll guide you through it on the email. Robert.Cordaro, Cordaro, at Odyssey, AUDACY.com. And let's honor the veteran. Somebody else. Gaza seemed to have more hospitals and schools than anywhere else on earth. Now Iran, too. I know. Somebody said, where was Michelle Obama at the memorial? I don't know if she was there. She would have made an ass of herself if she was. Bob from Hazelton said, yesterday, all 15 members of the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association. Now, there was only 15 that voted on whether to keep the banner up at one of their meetings. 10 voted for, 5 against. So the 10 asses who voted to keep it up after they knew they were wrong. But the listener continues, they can put a sign in their yard honoring Biden because he was born in Greenwich section of Scranton. He's just not a hometown hero banner guy, which is exclusively for veterans. Yep. Oh, there's all kinds of common sense solutions if they're dumb enough to want to honor Joe Biden. Be dumb. It's your right. This is what don't the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association understand? Everyone knows Biden was 40 years past his time and in mental decline and a horrible president. For God's sake, please stop disrespecting our fallen heroes and tear down the Biden Stolen Valor banner. How can people sleep at night? Green Ridge Neighborhood Association on a bed of lies. Yep. Somebody says, my TDS marriage to a T. I guess you didn't finish that. So you're married to a TDS victim. Well, they're not victims. They've chosen it. They've chosen not to overcome it, too. So I don't feel sorry for them. I just say, shame on you. Stop being an idiot. Snap out of it. Some of them need a piping hot slap in the face It might wake them up. And I mean a slap in the face with love, not trying to hurt them, just like a wake up. Dear God, wake up. You're making a fool of yourself. You're better than this. Wake up. And don't be such a child at Donald Trump's silliness, and there's a lot of that. That Donald Trump's silliness triggers you. Don't do it. Grow up. And remember what's good for the country, and remember what you rediscover your common sense. Rediscover your common sense and stop the nonsense. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's find out what's going on in the stock market and more. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Stained. This date, 2001, they had a number one alternative rock hit. Murph says with that song, It's Been a While. Not a bad song. Yeah. And we're going to finish with Sound of Silence by, what are they called, Bulldog? I keep Disturbed. Disturbed. We like it. Larry from Plymouth turned us on to this. Sue Henry doesn't like it at all. But we do. Barry from Plains says, I'm all for the environment and stuff like that. But I'll be the first one to burn the Biden Valor sign. Barry from Plains. Another says, well, I think he's one of the trolls. Says, wake me up, Bobby. Yes, wake up. We watch, we love you. We don't want to be talking, listen to you talking gibberish. We really don't. It comes from a place of love. I hope you know that. You're an American. You're from Northeast PA. We have to love you. We do. Somebody says, Bob, the Democrat Party's lost beyond common sense. It's now a true war of good and evil. Well, the core of their ideology is evil. There's no doubt about it. From abortion to sex change on children, all that. It's true evil. Open border, true evil. And it is hatred of the country. The listener continues, the party must be revamped and rebuilt with Martin Luther King, JFK, true American loving values. Amen. Somebody asking about this Veterans Tribute. The email address to me, to send me, Robert.Cordaro, Cordaro, at Odyssey, AUDACY.com. Robert.Cordaro at Odyssey.com. Somebody says, greetings, Bob ALTS. I wouldn't mind if you included Senator Blumenthal in the stolen valor category. He's a phony, disgraceful liar. Oh, he's included. We haven't forgot about that scum. Well, guys, great being with you. You know that. Even you people who just won't wake up, we think and believe that you will. We've got eternal hope. We want to thank John Basiliga for bringing us these great veterans we've lost, like Arthur Blake from Wapwallopin, Walter Barteld from Wilkes-Barre, and Harry Denon from Danville. We'll take this time to say adios and gavel to a close this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. God willing, I'll be back with you tomorrow morning because the battle is over, but the war goes on. Have a great afternoon, gang.